Good afternoon, Key Stage 4, and welcome back to yet another virtual assembly at the end of a very busy week. We're going to dive straight into it because there's quite a few things I want to share with you today. First thing to do is give you a little bit of feedback, particularly to Year 10, about the phone call meetings and the one-to-one in-school meetings that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. So first of all, phone calls. Thank you again to everyone who made sure they were available on Tuesday. It was fantastic to speak to you all, and we made some really useful. We had some really useful conversations with those people who were there, set some really useful targets, and hopefully have set you up for a very productive week. Just a few bits of feedback from the rest of the staff on that Tuesday work, though. So the first thing is to say, please be aware that this is happening every week. So we will be calling every Tuesday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. So the first thing I've got to ask you is please make sure you're awake. You would not believe the number of times that we've called home to be told, oh, can you call back in 2 hours because they're still asleep? And this is like 11 o'clock in the morning. I appreciate your teenagers. I appreciate it's tempting when you don't have to get out of bed to go to school to just stay in bed for a couple more hours. But it's really important for your mental health, for your well-being, that you're getting up at a good time every day. Okay, get into that habit. Get yourself out of bed at 9 and get something done straight away. Okay, so please make sure on a Tuesday that you're awake by 9 o'clock so that we can get on and make those phone calls. The second thing to notice was please make sure your parents know. They've all been texted, but please make sure you tell them as well, because a lot of the time we're finding that we're not being picked up or we're being even hung up on. And the reason for this possibly is that we're calling from unknown or withheld numbers. Okay, we have to do that. It's a safeguarding thing. So please make sure your parents know that between 9 and 3 o'clock on Tuesday, if they get a call from a number that's withheld or unknown, it's probably from school and that they should pick it up. The next thing I'd say is about the conversations. It's always lovely to talk to you, but please make sure you're being really honest with us. You know, be honest about what's going well, but also be honest about what's not going so well. These conversations are not intended for us to catch you out and have a go at you. These conversations are intended for us to help and support you so that you're in the best position at the start of year 11. Okay, so be completely honest, right? If you've had a bad week and you've just not got anything done, talk to us about that, and we can help you with some strategies for how you can pick up on that next week. Kind of building on that, ask for help. Right, make sure that you're not just waiting for us to contact you. Make sure that you're not just waiting for us to ask questions. If there's something that's wrong or you need support with, ask us on a Tuesday, or even better, get in contact with us. And look at the information there to contact us is in blue on the right hand side. A reminder that as part of these discussions, we'll be setting 2 targets. One of them will be related to your well-being. And one of them will be an academic target based on the work that you've done on Seneca or in your workbooks. So please come to that meeting with your own ideas. Don't just wait for us to set a target for you. Be proactive. Think about what's gone well, think about what hasn't, and come with your own ideas for targets. And then the final thing I'd say is please check your emails. There's lots of work being sent out by emails. If you can't get in contact if you can't access your email, please use your personal email and email your form tutor, or get in contact with the school, and we can help you or call the school and we can help you to make sure you can access that. The other thing to say is about the one-to-one meetings. So it's been absolutely fantastic to talk to so many of you face-to-face over the last couple of weeks, or the last week, sorry. Those meetings, I think, have been really productive. They've been really helpful for us, and more importantly, I think for you guys. So if you've got a one-to-one meeting scheduled for next week, I'd really urge you, unless you are being told to shield because you're in a vulnerable category, or someone in your family is in a vulnerable category, please come to those meetings. The vast majority of people are coming to them. And I think that's because they prove to be really useful. So if you can, please make sure you're there. Make sure you arrive on time and are ready for that discussion, because they're really helpful. Okay, moving on with a list of things that you can be doing then to keep yourself entertained, talking about wellbeing targets. Miss Allen has sent out another recipe of the week. This week it is a delicious looking frittata. So pause the screen, get yourself the ingredients, get into the kitchen, and have a go at making that. It'll only take you 22 minutes, and it looks pretty good. Next thing I want to do is to remind you of something that I talked about last week, which is the Fantasy Wings organisation. So this is an absolutely incredible offer that's being pushed our way, or pushed your way rather. And that is that Fantasy Wings is an organisation which is offering 3 training places for 3 students to have all of the training and receive a private pilot's license. Okay, all completely for free. So that's about £10,000 worth of training and license, completely free. And all you have to do is go to the Fantasy Wings website, sign up, and have a go. Why wouldn't you? And then on top of that, even if you don't get one of the 3 places, or you don't fancy doing the full course, there are also 50 places for a free flying lesson. So, I mean, if I was still within the age range that allowed me to apply for this, I would be applying for this. So get yourself across to www.fantasywings.com and have a go. Just a reminder that you will need a parent or an older sibling over 18 to help you to sign up for that. Continuing the idea of things you can do to keep you busy during the lockdown, we've had another opportunity sent our way. You would have noticed this week I sent out a text about the virtual talk schedule. So we've been offered access for all of you guys to a series of really interesting, really exciting virtual talks. The schedule is on the screen in front of you. It's also directly underneath where you have just clicked to watch this assembly. So if you just scroll down slightly, you'll see the VTalk schedule, or you can follow the link at the bottom of this. These are really interesting talks from some really interesting people on some really interesting subjects. So have a look, see if there's any of those that pique your interest, and click on those, and you literally just can go straight across. And I think you have to sign up, but it takes a minute, and then you can watch them. Another thing that we can do to keep you busy, so there is a writing competition, which is happening now, which is looking at the idea of what the world after coronavirus might look like. We all know that coronavirus has had a massive impact on how we've lived our lives for the last 3 months. But this competition is asking you to think a little bit further into the future. What's the lasting impact of coronavirus going to be? So we're encouraging you to have a go at the written entry, but by all means, there are 2 other opportunities. There's also a photo competition and a video competition as well. So if those are more up your street, feel free to engage with it that way. The competition's already opened. It opened a couple of days ago. You've got until the 10th of July, so you've got a bit of time to do this. And then the winners will be announced on the 2nd of August. There are some pretty impressive prizes, and there are quite a few opportunities to win across the different categories. So follow the link, or go to the school website and click on the link there, and get yourself over there and get involved in that as well. And finally, another thing that I need to suggest that you get involved in is the Arc Bolton Virtual Band. So Miss Al-Hanoush has been thinking about this for a while, and is sort of getting to the point where she wants to put this together. So this is a call to all musicians, whether you're an instrumentalist or a singer. Miss Al-Hanoush would like us together to perform a version of Ben Howard's Keep Your Head Up. I'm sure you'll have seen all over Twitter and all over YouTube clips of bands and different groups performing together virtually over Zoom or whatever else it is. That's what we want to do. That might sound a little bit daunting. It might sound a little bit scary. I know there are loads of excellent musicians in Key Stage 4, and I would love for you to get involved. So please email Miss Al-Hanoush if you're interested. The lyrics and the chords are already on the website, so you've got time to go over there and practice. And also, your performances will be pre-recorded. Okay, so you won't have to do it live. You can do it as many times as you like until you're happy with it, and then submit it, and Miss Al-Hanoush will stitch it all together. So be brave, have some courage, put yourself out there, and keep yourself entertained. Get involved. I want to use this week's message to talk to you about career choices, and particularly to encourage you to consider STEM subjects when you're thinking about what you might like to study for A-level and at university. So before we start, STEM subjects are any subjects that fall into the fields of science, technology, engineering and mathematics. One of the things I've noticed in the last couple of weeks from examining the Year 11 destination data is not just where you guys are choosing to go to college, but also the subjects that you are picking. And there is a lot of conformity between the subjects that you're choosing. So lots of you are choosing to go on to college and study business. Quite a few of you are considering going on and studying subjects like English. And lots of you are considering things like health and social care, which are all good choices. They're all really interesting. But one of the things that I noticed was there was a big gap when it came to the science, technology, engineering, mathematics courses. Far fewer of you are applying for those jobs. And I really want to urge you to reconsider this. And to do that, I've just put a few facts and statistics up on the board there, which we're going to talk through. So the first thing to say is, this is just a fact. People who complete a Maths A-level earn 10% higher wages than those people who do not have a Maths A-level, compared to people of kind of similar ability and background. Okay. The really interesting thing about that is that it doesn't make any difference whether or not the employer knows that they have studied Maths A-level. Just the process of completing that course puts you in a position where you will earn 10% more. And that is just a fact. So that's worth considering. The second thing to say is about the jobs market. The UK is the 6th largest manufacturing nation in the whole world. We make an awful lot of stuff, and we work in these engineering fields a huge amount. That means that in these times where it's becoming increasingly difficult for school leavers and university leavers to find jobs quickly and easily, those in the STEM field have got a strong chance of finding available jobs. Even more than that, even better news for those in the STEM subjects is that STEM employers are struggling to fill the jobs that they have. 59% of employers in STEM fields say that they can't find enough or the right candidates to fill the jobs that they've got. That's a huge job market there for you guys if you leave college or university with the correct qualifications. And the final thing to say is there's a bit of an embarrassment really in the UK. So the UK is currently has the fewest number of women in Europe doing jobs in the STEM field. Only 8.7% of the hundreds of thousands, millions even, jobs in the UK in STEM fields are done by women. That's the lowest in the whole of Europe. And that's something that needs to change. And it also puts young women going into the STEM fields in really strong positions because employers are desperate to recruit more women into STEM. So again, 4 really good reasons there why it's worth finding out more about STEM fields and considering whether they're something that you're interested in. So if any of those points have resonated with you, whether it's the certainty or the higher chance of getting a job, or whether it's the 10% higher earnings, or whether it's about making sure that women are properly represented in the workforce, get yourself across to www.stem.org.uk and find out some more about what STEM subjects are, about the sorts of jobs that you could be expected to do, and spend a little bit of time during this lockdown finding out whether a STEM subject might be right for you. And once again, we will end with our shout-outs. Absolutely tons to celebrate this week. We've got loads of shout-outs to go through. So well done. That means we've had a really productive week, and your teachers are super impressed with you. So well done to everyone whose name is on this list. So first of all, for MFL, we've got Fabia Ahmed. Brilliantly well done to you. In drama, we've got 4. So Zishan Hussain, Aisha Begum, Amina Abdullah, Yasmin Begum. In maths, we've got Samira Khan, Alish Balalia, Kieran Bibi, and Zain Mahmood. For English, we've got Fikriyat Al-Shamiri, Asalma Hamid, and Alina Ali. Starting to notice lots of names kind of reoccurring here, so really well done to people who are doing this week after week and getting shout-outs. Moving on to history, we've got Zishan Hussain, again. We've got RS, we've got Sadia Shah. In geography, we've got Zishan Hussain again. And in science, we've got Amor Rahman, Mohammed Shwaib, and Zain Mahmood. So really brilliantly well done to everyone who has got a mention there. This week we don't have an arts award, so that means that I can award 2 Amazon gift cards. And those Amazon gift cards go to the following people. First of all, you will be unsurprised, goes to Zishan Hussein. Absolutely amazing. 3 nominations in this week alone. Fantastic work from you. And the second one goes to Osama Hamid. Miss Lee was absolutely determined that you deserved an Amazon gift card this week for your excellent work and your dedication, and particularly for the improvement that you've made over time. So well done to those people who were nominated. Well done to the 2 who got gift cards. Thank you to everyone for a fantastic week's work, and have a lovely weekend.